Hello everybody and welcome to another installation of Ingrediology, our Wednesday weeknight dinner. Today on stream we are going to be making a braised beef short rib. We're going to be braising this in some red wine, so make sure you got that on hand. I'm going to be showing you the simple process that it is of braising. Braising is a technique where you first sear your meat and then you cook it in a small amount of liquid. Not enough liquid to cover the meat though, but over a long period of time and just a little bit of liquid, and the result is magical. It's simply magical, to be honest. We'll be serving our short ribs over some creamy polenta that has some goat cheese in it, roasted tomatoes, and wilted spinach. I hope that you're excited. I sure am. For those of you joining us here on Tastemade today, hello and welcome. I hope you all got your recipe packets just fine. If you'd like to cook along with us today, hit ! Recipe in the chat. That'll take you over to ingrediology.org where you can check out the class guide that we put together for this. This has your equipment list, a shopping list, nutritional information, all of the info that you're gonna need to recreate this for yourself at home. So how we doing over on the other channels today? I see we got Captain Jack Daniels. Chris, it's good to see you, my friend. Hello, Tedious Tao. And we had, who else? Who else is it? I think that's all we got here in the chat here so far today. If you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, welcome to the stream. Hello. And also, I guess if you're joining us on Tastemade too, absolutely welcome. Is anybody cooking along with us today? Raise your hand in chat. I'd love to know. I always like when people are cooking along with us. And that's the entire point of us going out here live on the stream, is so that you have real-time answers or questions that you might pose to me that I can answer right there in the moment. All right? That way I'm freely available to you. I'm gonna be cooking right alongside you. Some of you might be going back and watching the VOD after this. If you have any questions or concerns, there's something that came up and you just really messed up the short ribs, feel free to hit me up on the Tastemade platform, on my social profiles, or you can just email me at logan@ingrediology.org and I'll be sure to get back to you. How we doing? We got Tedious Tao. I currently have that tired energy. I do apologize. Woohoo, the stream is live. Hell yeah, Chris. There he is. It's been quite a minute. It has been a minute, hasn't it, Tedious? Tao, I'm so glad that you're here, though. How's your Wednesday going? How's your week going? Catch me up on what's going on in your life here lately. Moo, we got Moo65. Hi, Mom. Welcome. Now, I assume Remy is probably watching along, too, downstairs, because Grammy and Grandpa usually put on the stream for him while he's just hanging out, if he's up. So, hi, Remy. Hello, my boy. Tastemade people, feel free. You can interact down here in the chat box over on this side. Again, any questions that you have, or if I'm moving too quickly for you, please just give me a shout out. Say, hey, stop, hold on a second. All right. But other than that, we're gonna dive right in here. Remy Cam, we might get some Remy Cam. Maybe if Grammy's putting him to bed here soon, she might bring him on camera. Do you hear that, Kathy? Maybe not. We might get a shot of him. He's grown so much. Like in the past week, his cheeks have gotten bigger. He must have gained like at least 2 pounds. It's crazy. The guy has eaten so much oatmeal and fruit puree during the day. I love it. I love it. It's the hardest and the best thing that's ever happened. I'm cooking and drinking along with you today. Hell yeah, Chris. You guys are eating short ribs out in California tonight? I love it. And since you're an hour ahead of us, you're gonna have a little bit more time to let these braise before dinner. I'll be honest about this recipe, everybody. So often people are intimidated by making short ribs because of the time that's required. I get that. Usually the only place that you have short ribs is if you're out at a restaurant, you can order them there. That's 100 times easier than having to cook them for yourself at home. It's also more expensive though. And why would you want to have this kind of a toolkit in your belt? Because this is a show-stopping kind of dish. If you serve these to guests in your home that you're having over, I guarantee that they're going to be impressed. Well, not good at all. Lost my friends, lost you after job change, earnings a lot more. Left, their job reasons. Few personal health things. Say is relapse. Wow, Tal, that's so much. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that we can cheer you up a little bit here on our basic little cooking stream that we got going on. Let's give some love to Tal in chat, everybody. Sounds like, you've really been through the ringer. So I'm sorry about that. Now, why don't we talk a little bit about our ingredients that we have going on here this afternoon. Down here on the board, let me, boom. We're gonna reorient the OBS setup right here. There we go. Here we are. Large and in charge. Let's take a look at this. Our ingredients that you're gonna need today, everybody, are going to be our 2 carrots, 2 ribs of celery, a white onion. We have 6 garlic cloves, This is a 1/4 cup of tomato paste. I encourage you to just buy the tomato paste in the tube. It's so much easier than having to get it out of the can. You end up wasting more if you get it out of the can, right? 2 cups of red wine. I would pick a tannic red wine, something like Merlot or Cabernet or Zinfandel. 2 cups of beef stock. I know there's only one. We're gonna add another cup here when we get cooking. A bay leaf, 4 sprigs of thyme, 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and then 1.5 tablespoons of butter. Come on, you got this. There we go. 1.5 tablespoons of butter, as I said. Nah, it's all good. Most of it was recent, but it's getting better. Been cooking more. Made some coffee cake. Hell yeah. Subscribing. We got Tef Banow coming in the chat. Can we get a shout out for Tef Banow, please? A fellow streamer here on Twitch, as well as one of our the longest reigning moderator here in our chat. Tef, it's good to see you, buddy. I hope you're well. We need to catch up here soon, my friend. But how you doing? Thank you so much for the sub. Guys, if you'd like to help support us here on the stream, you can go to ko-fi.com/Ingrediology. It's down here in the little corner tab. This just helps us to buy groceries and the equipment that we need, pay for the software and the website hosting that it takes. While we put out all of our classes for free, it's certainly not free to run them. So I appreciate you in advance, and thank you to all of our supporters who already subscribe over on Ko-fi. You guys are the best, and you help to make this possible. Now, let's see. Nothing over here in Taste Made yet. Y'all are being shy, as usual. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. Deirdre, you joining us? Hello, Deirdre. It's good to see you. Now, let's see. Oop, not mod here. I get it, Tao. Thank you for putting out the Ko-fi support button. All right, everybody. We've shown you the ingredients that are going to be the main components making up our sauce. The components making up our sauce here today. But we need to talk about the meat. So I've got our short ribs all laid out, well, mostly laid out on a sheet tray. We're gonna transfer all of our fresh ingredients off of here and over to the side of the tray. That way I can give you a real good look at our short ribs, what we're gonna be doing with them, etc., etc. So Chris, you said you were drinking a cab. That's what you're planning on putting down in the red wine braising sauce here this afternoon? That's a good choice. Cab is a solid choice for a strong tannic wine that's really gonna stand up to our beef here this afternoon. Now, oh, you know, I should get a white cutting board out on this because I don't wanna have to clean this big cutting board halfway through the stream. So here we go. Boop, nice little white cutting board. Taste Mania. What is Taste Mania? Hello, everyone. Good to see you, and to you too, Tef. It's been a hot minute. Justin, 2018 Cab Sauv. Very tasty. You know what? I wish I had some red wine left over. Grandpa, if you're watching this, go ahead and go buy a bottle of wine if you're going out, if you got the time. Or maybe we can ask Maggie to pick one up when she gets home. Hey, Siri, text Megan. Could you bring home a bottle of red wine? A Merlot or a Cabernet Sauv would be great, please. All right, send it. Okay, great, good. Maybe Megan will get that message and stop and bring us home a bottle of wine, because I used all the wine on the braising of the short ribs earlier. I've done a little magic of television, everybody. I don't expect you to sit here for another 2.5 hours after we're done searing our meat. We got the sauce finished and we put them in the oven, because that's just, I mean, what am I gonna do? I could make polenta for like 30 minutes, maybe. So I've already got a batch in the oven. Ha-ha! I'm a step ahead of you. I usually cook it in the Instant Pot. Looking forward to watching. You know, Deirdre, I thought about doing an Instant Pot method just because it is quicker. Instead of this taking like 3 to 4 hours, it would take only, I don't know, maybe like 90 minutes to 2 hours. It drastically cuts the time that it takes to make these short ribs in half. So maybe we'll have to do that sometime. Or I should just post the instructions for the Instant Pot. The only thing that changes in the Instant Pot is we sear the beef, we make our sauce, we pinçage, we reduce our red wine, deglaze, add in our beef stock and our herbs, and then you just take all of that and you transfer it to the Instant Pot instead of covering it with foil and roasting it in the oven for like 2.5 hours. So you just do it in the Instant Pot, set it for like a high pressure setting for an hour, is what I would bet on. I think I've done that in the past. Anyways, talking about our short ribs. Down here on the board, everybody, we've got the short ribs coming out. Now you can find these at your butcher. They carry these quite frequently in most major grocery stores. You can find them. I happened to order these off of Amazon. Got them delivered by Whole Foods within like 2 hours. It was really simple, straightforward. I know it's gonna be high quality beef. You guys should see the marbling on these things. Are you checking that out already? Let's see. Oh, let's find a really. Oh, look at that. Look at the marbling here. Now, I have had my beef sitting out for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours prior to pulling them out here on the board for you. I like doing that because with such thick pieces of meat like we have right here, having them at room temperature is gonna help them to cook more evenly through the center, all right? Let's go back around here a little bit. Nah, I asked for Sauv Blanc or Merlot. Oh, I said Taste Mania? Did I really say Taste Mania? That's so weird. Please just save Logan some heavy eyes for Maggie when she gets home. Busy, busy, busy. How my life has been since I returned from the States, but some great busyness. Good, Taff. I mean, busy in a good way is always nice. You know, there's the 2 different kinds of busy like that. Now, I'm also gonna be grabbing some paper towels for us. Let me just give you a reminder here, everybody. Please preheat your oven at this point. Make sure that you set it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That way it's nice and hot when we're ready to put our short ribs in to braise. Now, as I was showing you before, we've got our short ribs up to room temperature. The short rib has the bone running through here. This is known as an English style short rib. Okay, where the bone runs through. These are cut into smaller segments, but this is opposed to a flanken style short rib, where flanken style, think of like Korean short ribs or Korean barbecue, or sometimes they have them in different kinds of ramen. Instead of having these in these large, like 3-inch by 4-inch by 3-inch chunks, they'll take and they'll slice it right down this way. Just slice, slice, slice. Then slices across the bone. I actually included a link on the website. If you go to our class guide on our website, the link where it says English style short ribs can answer this question for you. It's just a little website like realsimple.com or something like that. Nikki Nades, what's up, Nikki? How you doing? Happy Wednesday to you. They look so juicy. Oh, you have no idea. Wait until we sear these and we render them out, and then they're just falling off the bone after the braising process. We got about 50 minutes left on our original braise, which means we got 50 minutes to get these done and into the oven and our polenta started and all that before we're ready to plate up, okay? BRB making a shopping list. Tao, you don't need to make a shopping list. We already got everything that you need. The website recipe functions as a shopping list because it has checkboxes next to it. Now, back down here on the board with our short ribs, everybody. Typically, there is going to be a membrane down on the back side of the bone right here. We need to remove that like you would remove it from the backside of a set of baby back ribs. And we'll take a look here at the front. It looks like on the front side of this short rib, we've got a little bit of silver skin hanging out. I'm gonna trim that up. You're gonna wanna make sure you have a fillet knife out and ready. Boom. So I got a nice sharp knife. I've got a set of paper towels to help us get a hold of these very slippery membranes here on the back. Let's put these off to the side and then we'll just go through them one at a time. How's that sound? Drool City. Hell yeah. All right, so down here on the side of the membrane, I'm gonna take and just make a cut down along there, making sure I've lifted most of it up, and then I'm going to take a segment of paper towel and just get a good grip. This is going to allow me to get a good grip here on the short rib, and then you can just peel this membrane right off. This is connective tissue. It's not going to cook down or cook out, so we need to remove it now before we get going on it. After we get these membranes removed, though, we are going to be adding some salt, a liberal amount of salt. Oh no, I did the wrong side. Aye, chef, what are you doing? Well, I'll take this fat cap off anyways. This looks like a lot of silver skin as it is. Well marbled is how I would describe these. What are you guys up to today? If you're not cooking along with us, what are your dinner plans? Also, everybody, if you're joining us here for the first time, we're making braised beef short ribs live on stream with you. This is going to be served with a creamy polenta that incorporates goat cheese, roasted tomatoes, and some wilted spinach on top as well. If you guys like the abbreviated version of these classes, you just don't have the patience to sit through a 2.5, 3 hour stream, then you should be checking out our YouTube. We've been posting a lot of recipes here this year over on the YouTube. Our latest was creme brulee. Now, not to toot my own horn, but for the first time ever, we broke 200 views on the creme brulee video here in like 7 days. So I'm very happy about that. It's our first signs of success over on YouTube as a channel. Go. Oh, we got a little bit of silver skin right here. So we're just gonna take. Yes. All right, hit that corner real good. I'm about to cook up some little smokies with some cabbage and spinach and potatoes, veggie sides. I make a dish, Nikki, called sausage, cabbage, and potatoes, because that's literally what the ingredients are. It sounds like that, except instead of using like smoked sausage, Polish sausages, sounds like you're using those little smokies. Just the miniature version of it. You can make a mini sausage, cabbage, and potatoes. The chef filed up to show mistakes can be saved. Snake Eye, toot toot. Welcome to the stream, Snake Eye. It's great to see you, my friend. Can we get a shout out for Snake Eye DIY? Fellow Twitch streamer, a great mod here on the channel. I hope your week's going well. Thanks for chatting with me a little bit about that, the shot I wasn't so sure about last night. I really appreciate you, my friend. Always welcome the feedback. You guys are good for it. Thank you for the shout out for Tef. For Tef, for Snake Eye and Tef. Well, we got some silver skin over here on the top. Whew. We're getting our house painted, guys. No longer have this weird drab brown that it was before. It's green and white. It looks really good. I am flabbergasted by how fast these guys were able to get this done. Craziness. Everybody doing okay with the trimming? I'm just finishing the trimming over here on my board. If you're cooking along with us, you should be doing the same. And if you're just joining us here on Ingrediology for our Wednesday weeknight dinner, hi, my name's Logan. Welcome to the stream. We're making braised short ribs and creamy polenta here today on this Wednesday weeknight dinner. Glad you're here. If you'd like to follow along with us on the recipe, or you can hit !recipe or !menu in chat, and the bot will spit you out a link so that you can go see our website in the class guide. Boop, boop, boop. Looking forward to the pictures on Instagram. Tanner, what's up? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. What's up, Denver? Am I meant to go to the bone when cutting out the silver skin? So no. Great question, Chris. Thank you for chiming in here. So it's just going to be that top membrane. There's going to be a secondary membrane below that is made up of some connective tissue, but it will cook out, unlike the silver skin that we're pulling out from the backside of the bone there. There should still be a little bit layer. You don't want a naked bone sitting. Let me show you what I got right here. It's like the backside well, I mean, it is the backside of ribs, but like pork ribs, if you've ever done that, there's still gonna be a little bit of difference here. What's the difference between silver skin and a membrane. Well, silver skin is a connective tissue that does not cook down. It doesn't cook out or basically melt like other forms of fat and cartilage that might be involved. Well, cartilage won't cook out, but other forms of fat that really just will look like marbling. This is a layer of fat that is contained below the silver skin. And we've already removed the silver skin from the back. Great question. Thank you, Moo Moo. All right, we're gonna get these salted and on a plate. And then we're gonna cover these with plastic wrap and let them sit while we do the rest of our mise en place, guys. I don't want to do this. When we're doing this, guys, you wanna make sure you're salting every side of the short ribs. Liberally. You might say to yourself, wow, that's a lot of salt, Chef. Yes, it is. I'm not trying to give you a heart attack, but with such thick cuts of meat like this, you need to salt heavily. Is it possible that I don't have silver skin? So, Captain, if you don't have silver skin, that means your butcher was already kind enough to take it off for you. So thank them for going the extra mile. You must have gone to a nice butcher to get these short ribs, my friend. I'm not surprised by that. You really value the quality of your food. The meat has much fat, looks like awesome quality. I know, I pulled it out today, Tanner, and I was like, this looks like friggin' Wagyu, how well marbled this is. I mean, look at that. How good that looks. Shaky, 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 shaky. Did anyone find the recipe confusing at all? Their shopping list? Any problems finding the items that I asked you to get here today? Let me know. I'm happy to answer that for you. Okay, everyone, break over. See you next week. Tef, thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming out. Let's get another shout out for Tef Banow. Enjoy the rest of your shift there at work, and I hope you're safe getting home, buddy. If you're just joining us, guys, this is 4 pounds of beef short ribs, cut in an English style as opposed to a flanken style. Also, everybody, make sure that you have a heavy bottom skillet out in your kitchen. Got it on the stove top. As I'm beginning to finish up my mise en place for the mirepoix, the onions and garlic and celery. Well, that's not mirepoix, the onion, celery, and carrots. Then I'll turn my heat on underneath my pan. If I have a short cow, does it make short ribs? Short ribs? Yes, I believe so, Snake Eye. They might call those petite short ribs. Man, you're better with the dad jokes than I am. I'm a dad. Oh, with these nicely salted, we're gonna take them and cover them in plastic wrap. Let's get our board out of the way. Store your fillet knife so you don't cut yourself here later on. And you just want to let these rest out at room temperature, everybody, for no more than 4 hours. Let that salt penetrate through the meat. You can also do this the night before, and it works great. Tanner, sorry you missed it. I thought you maybe have heard it when you came in. We are making red wine braised beef short ribs, and we're gonna be topping them, not topping them, they are going to go on top of a creamy polenta with goat cheese, roasted tomatoes, and wilted spinach. Ooh, ooh. All right, these just go back here on the counter. Here is the, six. This on? Okay, good, it's working. It's working, good. Good to see. So you guys can tell I've already got my heavy bottom skillet, saute pan, set out right here. This pot is gonna be for our polenta. Now, I didn't include this in the equipment list, but I like using it, especially when we're searing meat off. This is just a little grease catcher, so you put that over the top, and that screen helps, and that screen helps prevent a lot of fat from bouncing out of the pan and getting the whole area of your stove dirty. So it's a good buy. It's a good buy. It's not too pricey either. Okay, cool. Now, let's see. We've wrapped our short ribs. Sounds a bit like beef bourguignon. It uses almost all the exact same steps as beef bourguignon, Tanner. So yeah, good instincts there. We're gonna be using our mirepoix. We'll sear off the beef first. We'll pinçage, which is just cooking out our tomato paste. We'll deglaze with some red wine, allow that red wine to reduce by 50%, add in our beef stock, our herbs, cover it and let it go low and slow until it's just fall off the bone tender. So yeah, I mean, that's basically beef burgundy. We're gonna be doing creamy polenta. I didn't want to go through all the extra steps of having to, you cook your polenta, you cover it, you cool it, then you cut it, and then you take it and you fry it again. I'm just gonna go with regular creamy polenta with goat cheese. Good question though. And that'd be a great accompaniment. If you're willing to go through all the steps to have to make fried polenta, then I think it would be well worth it at the end. We're just not gonna do so today. Okay, we're doing good over on Tastemade. You guys doing all right? I love creamy polenta with lime zest. Ooh, look at you. Look at you. Oh, you fancy, huh? All right. Let's get that. No, we're gonna do our mirepoix first. So, down here on the board, everybody, I've got the carrots, celery, and onion, as well as our 6 garlic cloves, which we're gonna mince alongside that. Let's get a metal ramekin out for that, and then a bowl out for our mirepoix. Sorry for the clanking and banging. Sorry. Nice bowl out for that. Garlic can go in the ramekin. Then I got my knife. Now, I scrubbed these carrots really well with like a Scotch-Brite pad earlier, so I'm not even gonna peel them. You can peel them at home if you'd like to, but I made sure these were squeaky clean, and the majority of the skin actually came off with the Scotch-Brite or Scotch whatever pad thing that I use. So we're just gonna cut these into 1/4-inch thick rondelles, rounds, little circles, wheels. Man, the thing is with this, it just runs all over the place. What else do you put in that polenta tan other than lime zest? Is it just lime zest? A little juice? What would you serve a lime zest polenta with? I've never had polenta with lime zest. Works really well with any citrus zest. You should try it. I bet orange zest would be a little lighter, but also good. Now we need to dice up our celery, so we're gonna cut sticks out of that. Just going along the rib like this, cutting out long strips lengthwise through our celery. I feel like it's Groundhog Day today because I've already done this recipe once this morning. One question for celery. Yeah, sure, shoot, Tanner. Please, happy to help. That's a little thick. Whoop. There we go. That's a little thick too. We want this to be a small dice, everybody, so 1/4-inch by 1/4-inch by 1/4-inch. You know, ashamedly, Chris, I think what I'm gonna probably end up drinking here today on stream is gonna be some hard carbonated waters. because we had some family in town and they wanted some of those, and we don't normally drink them, but we said, why not? Ooh, baby. They have these stripes, right? You need to get rid of. You probably have already done that. Stripes. The celery has stripes? Not exactly. Do you mean the ribs on the back that are very stringy? You can get rid of those if you'd like by using a peeler, but the way in which I've just cut up the celery, I mean, all of those little strings are already taken care of. They're just so tiny it doesn't even matter. So beginning our onion, we're gonna go ahead and remove our stem end. We've already trimmed up our root end of the onion and peeled this. I got a little bit ahead of you, but when I found this bag of onions today, everybody, they had begun sprouting, so the roots were a little longer and they had the little green things coming out the top. They're perfectly fine. You can still use them. It's just, you want to trim that stuff away. It doesn't end up in your final product. So I already went ahead and I pre-trimmed some of these, but you can see how the center of that is still very green. It started to sprout. Oh my goodness, this dolly is put me in a tizzy today. Alrighty, everybody. We're gonna take and halve our onion through the center, and then we're just doing a rainbow cut. So making thin slices facing the center of our onion all the way around, just changing the angle and not cutting through the root end right back here. That's why we're just using the very tip of our knife. So that the goal is that after we're done, this is all still one piece, but it's all sliced up, okay? Then we'll turn that perpendicular to how we had it before, and then just make our way back towards the root end, and this is how we end up with a nice dice. All right, that's one half to go. Darthalo, welcome to the stream. Hello, Darth. How's your Wednesday going, my friend? I hope you're making it through hump day just fine. Anything new going on in your world, Darth? Is the music loud enough for you guys? The music seems... Well, it's crazy quiet for me because I turn it down in my headphones. Hey, Blaze! How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Thanks for being here. Welcome back. So today we're making red wine braised short ribs, and those are going to go over a creamy polenta with roasted tomatoes and wilted spinach. You can find these recipes over on our website, everybody, and if you'd like to see the abbreviated version of these live streams, head over to our YouTube channel, !YouTube in chat, and please give us a like or a subscribe if you really like the videos. We're putting a lot of work into it. My goal by the end of 2023 is to be in the YouTube Partner Program, but it's a high bar. So we need 4,000 hours watched. I think we're at like 75, and we need 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and I think that's weird. We're also at 75 on the on the subscriber take, but every little bit counts, and I really appreciate it if you'd help us out that way. And you'll see when we go live and when we post all of our new videos. Not a fan of polenta, the cam on rails, or why it's moving. Oh, it's a dolly. So it's a tripod. It's got 3 little wheels, and it crawls along. I can adjust the angle of the wheels to adjust the curvature of it. Yeah, and it wasn't too expensive either. So final thing we got going down here on the board is going to be our garlic. Let's get this cleaned down a little bit. Messy board, messy chef, messy chef. Do you like it, Tanner? Thanks, Snake Eye, for dropping the YouTube link in chat. I appreciate you. Snake Eye, did you hear we're getting our house painted? I'll have to send you a picture of it. These guys, they finished it in like 3 days. They're going to be done this afternoon, they say. So we'll see what happens. But it's like green with a cream trim, brown accents. It's really good looking. I'm very happy with it. Oh, well, thank you, Tanner. I saw the first time I saw this was on some Amazon streamer's stream. They were streaming on Twitch and Amazon simultaneously. Somebody in Food and Drink. I can never remember her name. And then Call Me Chef G got it. So G has a DSLR on rails. It's a remote control. You can program the whole thing to move at a certain pace and at certain times and intervals. This is just a little simpler. I can change the speed of it, and it's got a remote control. But it will just roll continuously. It's not like, which is nice actually, because the rails have it only going at one angle instead of being able to adjust the angle of my wheels like I have here. So mine works a little bit better, in my opinion. No shade on anybody else's stream. All my friends do a great job. All right, I'm gonna heat our pan, turn that on to medium over there. Make sure you're doing the same at home. Now, to mince up our garlic, we're going to take off the root end down here. You need more garlic. Thank you, Blaze. Always more garlic. No such thing as too much garlic. I mean, there is, but it's a hard point to reach. Now, after we've got this all sliced up, I'm just going to go back and mince this. At this point, everybody, your ribs should be cleaned and then salted, resting under some plastic wrap on the countertop, just to help bring them up to room temperature and make them cook a little bit more evenly through the center. Our mirepoix is diced up, and we're working on mincing our garlic. Now, I've already gone ahead and measured out our 2 cups of red wine, 1/4 cup of tomato paste, 2 cups of beef stock, 2 tablespoons of AP flour, 1.5 tablespoons of butter, the 4 sprigs of thyme, as well as 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary and our single bay leaf. So it's going to be quick in the execution once we're getting this done. When we get going, it's going to go fast. But you should be doing the same, prepping yourself up, mise en placing, getting everything in its place. Mise en place. My partner says I'm garlic obsessive. My partner's crazy. My olive oil burned. You're a little too hot in your pan, Chris. Take down the heat a skosh, my friend. Now, since Chris, that actually provides me a good opportunity to talk about something with you real quick. If you have that happen, if you burned the bottom of your pan, you want to remove those short ribs and start in a new pan. Because we're gonna be building our sauce in that same pan that we're searing the short ribs in. So you don't want things to be blackened on the bottom. It shouldn't be carbon, all right? It should be fawned. It should be golden brown and delicious that we're incorporating in. And you need to really watch your heat. I'd say a medium high is about as high as you can go. And that's another reason why we use a heavy bottomed large skillet, because those heavy bottomed skillets are gonna heat very evenly throughout. And we've started it before we get going, just because I want it to be well heated all the way through. Our temperature won't drop when we add in our short ribs. I mean, it'll drop a little bit, right? But it won't drop as much as if we just got the pan heated up on high, like we ran right up to a high temperature and began searing. If you allow time for our pan to become completely heated through, suffused with heat, then you're gonna be able to sear a lot more evenly on those short ribs. But you also gotta watch that heat, because if it's too high, you're gonna blacken the bottom of your pan before you have even the opportunity to put in your vegetables. You'll burn your tomato paste, and then there'll be that taste all throughout your sauce and your short ribs. So I know it's a pain in the ass, but you might have to start over in a new pan. I need a better kitchen. I need a better kitchen. I started the oil in my crock pot on medium and it's still too hot. Oh, you're doing it in the crock pot. I mean, that's a good move, Chris. I like that. Kind of like doing it in the Instant Pot. Six cloves of minced garlic. This actually might be 7 cloves of minced garlic. You guys go back and watch the replay and count them. I think I had an extra one on my board earlier and I didn't end up throwing it away. And it doesn't appear to be on the tray right now, so this might actually be 7 cloves of garlic. So you got your wish, Blaze. We did put extra garlic in the short ribs. Let me get my knife for rinsing the board, a nice little wipe down. This will be so good. I know, Tanner. That's why I'm making it. The whole family's excited. But thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate you. Let's go over here to the stove, everybody. We've got our pan coming up to temperature right here. Let's get a little bit more of that messy countertop out of the way. Okay, so the pan's on a medium, just a skosh over medium high heat. We've got our short ribs over here, salted, covered with plastic. They've been sitting out at room temperature. Again, you can let these sit out for a maximum of 4 hours at room temperature before they become a food concern, a food poisoning concern, or a foodborne illness concern, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So 4 hours before the health department's gonna slap you on the wrist, okay? That's just the point at which, you know, bacteria is gonna proliferate much quicker. You wanna be careful how you're handling, especially meat at those temps. Now, I've got myself a pair of tongs. You gotta click them to make sure they work. This feels pretty hot. Notice that when I put my oil in, it's going to spread out fairly quickly, get shimmery and shiny. That's good. We're gonna give that just a second. I've got a few thin wisps of smoke going on right there. Tanner, you heading out? Gotta go, but already can tell he knows what he's doing. He see everyone. Tanner, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed what little of the class you got to see, buddy. Raise your toes if you want Logan to teach a beef Wellington class. God, this beef Wellington class crusade. You and Captain Jack are gonna gang up on me with this. Chris has already asked me for one, and I've been a real jerk. Are you using sea salt or coarse? So this is coarse kosher salt, Blaze. Great question, thank you. All right, we're gonna put our short ribs meat side down. So we have the bone down here. This is gonna be our first side that we're gonna sear on. Let's get in. Four pounds of English style short ribs. Oh yeah, baby. Not trying to make you sick with all the camera movement, everybody. My apologies if I have. Medium, medium, high. That's what we're looking for. Sound delicious. Que sera, sera. What's new in your world, sera? Now, everyone, we minced up our garlic. So we have our garlic ready to go here in the ramekin. We've also got our mirepoix, this mixture of onion, carrots, and celery here in the bowl. What's going to happen is we're going to sear these short ribs on every side. We're going to get them brown, oh, so brown, on every side, and then we're going to remove them from the pan and immediately add in our mixture of celery, onions, and carrots. We're going to saute that for about a minute, and after our onions have gotten a little translucent along with the celery, then we're going to throw in our garlic, cook it for an additional 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and then comes our 1/4 cup of tomato paste. So the tomato paste will go in. We're going to do a technique called a pinçage, or cooking out our tomato paste. By cooking out our tomato paste along with the veggies and whatnot, it helps to get rid of the tartness that's so characteristic inside of tomato paste. It caramelizes those natural sugars that are present and really brings much more richness and body to our sauce. After we've pinçaged our tomato paste, we'll have a nice brown layer, golden brown layer of fond on the bottom of our pan. And then we'll add in our 2 cups of red wine. We'll deglaze that fond, we'll lift up from the bottom as we're scraping everything out, and then we'll add in our beef stock after having let our wine reduce by half. So we'll go from 2 cups of red wine down to 1 cup of red wine. Then goes in the beef stock, bay leaf, rosemary, and thyme, and then we'll add in our roux. The roux goes in with the sauce, and then everything goes into the oven, tightly covered, roasting at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2.5 hours. All right, so make sure you have your ovens preheated right now. I think we're probably going to be ready for our first flip. Wait, hold on. Does it smell like beef in there? Smells like beef. I smell like beef. Expletive deleted, already smelling good. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. I'm having a beer after finishing my finals. I hope your new family is doing well. Sarah, yes, we are doing quite well. We're getting the house painted today. So the painters are just finishing up this afternoon on the trim and whatnot. It looks great. We went from like this drab, taupey, beige, brown, to green with white trim. It looks beautiful. But I'll see the actual finished product here after I finish stream. So yes, things are going well. Did you attend culinary school? Have you worked a lot in kitchens? I always learn new things on this stream. Sarab, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And yes, I did go to culinary school. I went to the Le Cordon Bleu affiliate school. It's the Pennsylvania Culinary Institute. It's since closed down, so no, it's kaput right now. But I did go there, got an associate's degree in the culinary arts. But I've been working in professional kitchens since I was about 15 years old. And for the last 6 years, I've been teaching classes both IRL and online. So yeah, I spent a lot of time in kitchens. Let's go back down here to the pan, everybody. I miss high school. I don't miss high school at all. Nope, that was the wrong button. There we go. So we got a little bit of smoke coming out of the pan, but you guys see, we're just kind of golden brown. Oh, look at the bottom right there. Holy crap. Well seared. All these just go over onto their next side. Just flip them over. Oh, whew. I tell you what, you might want to get the fan on. I definitely want to get the fan on. My oil is smoking a little bit. It was a technical one, so I went to culinary course they had for 3 years. Hell yeah, please. That's actually exactly what I did. So before I went to the Le Cordon Bleu, in high school I had the opportunity to go to a vocational school for my junior and senior year, and I went through their culinary program as well. So I guess I got like a certificate of culinary whatever along with my high school diploma. We used to do culinary competitions around the state of Ohio. I was on the culinary team for Penta Career Center. But yeah, that also I loved being able to like have regular core classes in high school, but then also spend half of my day in a kitchen. It was awesome. We've got a little bit of blood starting to leak out here on the edges of the bones. That's totally normal. Get you guys another close-up shot here of what this should be looking like. looking good. They send all the troublemakers to the kitchen in high school. That explains, they really do. I mean, honestly, the guidance counselor would sit you down and be like, listen, you're not going to graduate if you continue on the same track. So let's send you to the vocational school. At least you can have like a vocation when you graduate. And so they had a culinary program. They had an HVAC program. They had an electrical program. They had a landscaping program, carpentry, CAD design and engineering. They had cosmetology. There was early childhood education as well. And I think there's a couple more programs on top of that, but it was really, really diverse set of vocations that you could actually study in high school. It was a really good opportunity. It's called Penta because the 5 counties, 5 counties in Northwest Ohio all filtered their high school vocational students into this one school. So it was like half an hour, 45 minutes away from my house. But we did start like an hour later than most schools, so that was nice. I wish we had that, but we had a restaurant where it was student ran and we cooked for the guests. Yeah, we did the same thing. So the professional kitchen in the back, and then for the staff and it was public facing. So you could actually come in, serve a lot of police officers, people from the Cuisinart manufacturing plant across the street. Yeah, Cuisinart made pots and pans directly across the street from my vocational school. So they would come in and they would sponsor like culinary events and whatnot. We get a bunch of free stuff from knives, stock pots, and whatnot. I won a chili competition one time in high school doing that. But I've never been a scholar, all right? There's a reason why I dove into the kitchen. Not because I'm not smart. Some of the smartest people I know work in kitchens. But sitting at a desk is soul-killing for me. I've tried it a couple of times. I've had one desk job in my entire life, and it was a sales thing. It was awful. I hated it. I spent about 3 months there because I was burned out. I needed a break from kitchens. So I spent 3 months there hawking whatever BS this company wanted me to cold call people about. And I quit 3 months later and went right back to the restaurant I used to work at in Pittsburgh. And that was the last time I'd done anything except for work in a kitchen. Teresa, did you send me a message on Tastemade while we're live? There's a chat box. There's a chat box right here. I'm glad you're here too. Oh no. I got the audio on the screen over there. Oh, we're getting close. Damn. Tom, and Tom, 1, 2, 3, welcome to the stream. That looks delish. Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate you. Competitive cooking sounds like fun, also stressful. It was stressful, but it was definitely fun too. And the school would bring in as coaches other chefs from around Northwest Ohio. I remember this guy who was a chef at one of the like pretty hoity-toity country clubs in the area. He came in. I don't remember his name. What was his name? Chef Rick, maybe. But they would come in and like volunteer their time to help teach and coach our culinary team. It was really cool. I mean, it it kind of seemed like, you know, the basket of rejects at the time, which it definitely was. But the resources that we actually got there were incredible. I'm very fortunate that I had something like that available to me in high school. How many minutes on each side approximately? I'd say a minute and a half, Captain. Minute and a half, Captain. Now the one side I am not searing is the bone side, everybody. Let's just set these all up. trying to arrange them so I get a nice pretty shot here before we toss in our mirepoix. So I guess I am technically searing the bone side right now. I literally tell you something and then I do the exact opposite a second later. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. That's what I'm sorry about. Sexy short ribs. How close can we get? Okay, everybody, have a plate ready to pull these out to. And then you need a small bowl or container to drain the fat off of, because we're not going to be using all this fat. Now, be sure you're not just letting your pan sit on the heat at this point. You're not just letting this oil get hotter and hotter and burn the bottom of your pan. Look how beautiful golden brown the bottom of our pan is with the fond. I'm just going to take... I mean, maybe this isn't the smartest idea for you at home. Don't spill grease directly onto your burner. We're going to drain off the majority of our fat. Ugh, look at this. A lot of salt has collected along the bottom right here. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna spoon some of that out. I don't want to have a crap ton of salt sitting into my short ribs right now. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Because now this thing's hot as hell and I can't touch it. There we go. Cool. Let me show you what I'm doing right here. Whoop. I need to strain out even more fat. All right. Just enough fat to coat the bottom of the pan. Maybe a titch more in there. All right. We've got our mirepoix ready to go into the pan. So here we go. Short ribs can just sit off to the side right now. Get yourself out a spatula. Let's move this around. Like I said, everybody, things are moving quickly. They're happening fast. Now, some of the moisture from our vegetables that we're cooking right here are going to help lift whatever fond we have stuck on the bottom. That's good. If you can do an intermediate kind of deglazing, this will help from creating blackened burn spots on the bottom of your pan. So as my veggies are cooking, that excess moisture that's being released, you see all this steam coming up. This is steam at this point. We've already cleaned off a good amount of the pan, but the fond will get even looser. It just takes a little bit of elbow grease to lift this up off the bottom, all right? How you guys doing at home? Will you use the marrow? Tom, that's a great question. I will not be utilizing the marrow specifically or by itself. The marrow will remain inside the short ribs, and when we serve them, you can suck that out if you'd like to. But honestly, shanks are better for that, like forearms, basically, of the cow are better than the marrow you would get out of a short rib. You'd want to do that with beef shanks. Again, thanks for asking. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. You bunch of nerds. Irish schooling was like that and was an option in all states for everyone. Absolutely, que sera. Sorry, guys, I'm just catching up with you guys over here in chat. Been focused here on my pan and my veggies. So we've let our vegetables, we let the veggies cook out here for, I'd say 90 seconds. It's time to add in our garlic. And you see how our onions and our celery have definitely picked up some of the fond, and they're a little bit translucent as well. It's time to add in the garlic. We're going to saute this off for an additional 30 to 45 seconds. And then make sure you have your 1/4 cup, 4 tablespoons of tomato paste ready to go. As I do. Extra credit over here. I can imagine Logan trying to stick his tongue into a short rib bone. Ugh. Ugh. Now, I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit, okay? Let me tell you why. You see how dark we're getting here up towards the top of the pan? We're not burned yet, but we've got another 1.5 minutes to go after we add in our tomato paste. So I'm going to turn down my heat. That way we don't get too hot and create little blackened spots on the bottom of our pan. Be managing this the entire time, guys. Don't let it slip. All right, we've got about 30 seconds on the garlic. So we're going to go with our 1/4 cup of tomato paste. I really like buying the tomato paste in the tube, which is what I did for this. You just end up wasting stuff in the can, and the stuff in the tube, you can use just like toothpaste. You can use it again and again. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of tricks here. What am I doing? I'm moving the areas where I'm darker on my pan off from being on top of the heat directly. I'm also focusing on that area with our tomato paste so that the moisture that's in our tomato paste actually helps to lift. But if this gets too dark, guys, we're just going to go right in with the red wine. You do not want the bottom of this to burn. As a matter of fact, you can just pull this off the heat and cook it out that way. So our tomato paste has the opportunity to kind of absorb some of the heat that's going onto the pan. This is a finicky process. This is probably the most difficult part of making our red wine sauce here. Oh, it's getting pretty dark. We're not quite to the point where I'm going to add the red wine though. All right, everybody, that's 2 hours, 2.5 hours on that first batch of short ribs that I made. You see how I'm pressing the tomato paste? I'm smushing it up against the pan, increasing its surface area, trying to make sure that all the bits of tomato paste that I put here in the pan are coming in contact with the heat. They have the ability to caramelize. All right, let me get 2 towels real quick. We're gonna pull these short ribs out of the oven. Oh God. Oh, it smells incredible, guys. Okay. We are just seconds away from adding in our red wine. We've developed a nice fond. I keep using that word, F-O-N-D. It's a French word, it means foundation, but what they're talking about is this caramelized base, all these sugars that are browning up on the bottom of our pan. This is the fond. It's the foundation for the richness in our sauce. All right, we're not gonna wait any longer. In comes the red wine. Whew. All right, what just got put up? Won't lie, I hated deglazing a pan. We're gonna kick our heat back up. Let me catch up with you guys here in chat. I cannot understand all the unnecessary bullshit. I won't lie, I hated glazing in pan. What is it in the tomato paste that makes dishes more meaty? So it's the sugars, actually, Sarah. The sugars are caramelized through that sauteing process that we just did with them. Now, you can see in little gaps that we're lifting our fond off the bottom of the pan. The liquid being added in, red wine in this case, and a good bit of elbow grease is going to help us to lift this fond and incorporate it into our sauce. Now, I need to bring this up to a simmer. And we're going to allow our sauce to reduce by half. Well, not the sauce, just the red wine. We want our red wine to reduce in volume by half. All right, that's a 50% reduction. So now we're in the reducing phase. Let me get rid of this hot beef fat we got going on. Whew! Man, it is getting hot in here, guys, with the oven on and the stove on at the same time. Now we've got our short ribs seared and put off on the pan right here. Who you calling hot beef fat? That's definitely your nickname from now on. What's up, hot beef fat? That's so gross. So these are just waiting to go back into the sauce, which we're reducing over there on the stove, guys. Uh-oh. Like the camera's starting to glitch out a little bit. That ain't good. Bum, 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 bum. Now at the same time, everybody, on the other side, repeat please, pull the ribs and then pull the fat, add a little more oil. What? Okay, so Chris, I think what you're asking about is where we removed the short ribs from the pan after having seared them. There's going to be a lot of rendered fat, not only from the beef itself, but that 2 tablespoons of olive oil that you added into the pan at the beginning of your sear. You want to drain that out so you've got about 1 tablespoon of oil remaining. And then I also noticed that there was a lot of salt that had fallen off our ribs during the searing process, and I had just a little pile sitting over on the inside of the pan. So what I did is I took and I scooped that up with a spoon and got rid of that. If you have that happening, go ahead and get rid of it with a spoon, okay? At which point, we have that 1 tablespoon of olive oil remaining in the bottom of our pan. We add in our mirepoix, let it cook out for 1.5 to 2 minutes. Then we go in with our garlic, let that cook out for 30 to 45 seconds. And then we go in with our tomato paste, pinçage, establish our fond, deglaze with our 2 cups of red wine, okay? You're quite welcome, sir. Do we have anybody else cooking along with us here today? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us here on Ingrediology, hello, welcome. My name's Logan. You've joined us here for our Wednesday weeknight dinner, and we are making a braised beef short rib. The sauce contains red wine, which we're reducing right now, but we're going to be serving it over a creamy goat cheese polenta that has roasted tomatoes and wilted spinach in it. If you'd like to follow along with us, you'd like to see the recipe that we're making, you could hit an ! Recipe or ! Menu in chat. The bot will spit that back out for you. And if you'd like a more abbreviated version of the recipes that we make here on stream, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. That's where I edit these all down. So instead of having a 2.5 hour or 3 hour long stream, you've got like a 10-minute video or less. They're averaging about 6 to 7 minutes right now. Okay, we're doing good? Doing good, everybody? All right. Now is this fixed? Fixed. That's not entirely fixed. I wonder if I can just refresh the source. Give me just a moment to troubleshoot this, everybody. I can't turn it off and then turn it back on. Let's come back down here to the dolly cam for the time being. We're just attempting right now to get this sauce reduced by 50%, so we're turning 2 cups of red wine into 1 cup of red wine. After we get that all reduced down, we're gonna put in our beef stock. The beef stock will combine with the herbs, so the bay leaf, the thyme, the rosemary, and then we'll make a roux, very quick roux, in a non-stick pan. So go ahead and let's pull out a non-stick pan real quick. Boop-a-doop. Put this over here on the stove where our pot for the polenta is at. Turn it on low, and you can just go ahead and add in your butter. So I got my pan on a low heat. This is just a non-stick skillet, to which we're gonna be adding 1.5 tablespoons of butter. Whatever kind of butter you like. Now, after that butter is melted and foaming, we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. This constitutes a roux. A roux is a thickening agent, so it's gonna help give our sauce body and viscosity. I wanna turn 1 cup of red wine into 2 cups of red wine. How do I do that? I know a guy who did it once. All right, guys, we're looking real good. See how our reduction. See how much our wine has thickened just from the evaporation of our water in the pan right here. Quite happy with that. So like I said, we're gonna be adding in our 2 cups of beef stock and a 1. That's 1 cup. And a 2. A little bit more for good measure. We're gonna bring this back up to a simmer, at which point we're gonna combine it with that roux that we got going over here in the non-stick skillet. So roux, there's 3 different types. There's a white roux, there's a blonde roux, and there's a brown roux. So the darker your roux is, so like a brown roux on that end of the scale, you're gonna have more flavor. These brown roux are used in things like gumbo, jambalaya. Now, the thing with dark roux is they're not as powerful as your lighter colored roux. So as you cook out your roux or your flour more, you're losing thickening power, but you're gaining nuttiness and flavor. Whereas a white roux, like the one we're gonna be making today, because we don't need a dark roux for this, will have much more thickening power to it, but less flavor. Make sense? Ugh, truffle butter? Get out of here, Snake Eye. Okay. 6. What just happened? Something just happened over on Paste Made. Hold on, everybody. A high heat spatula, like the one I've been using for the beef. And we're gonna add in our 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Boop, 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 boop. I'm gonna turn the heat up to like medium underneath our butter right here. All good now, I think? Looks like I'm dropping bit rate quite a bit. Yeah, I am. Kevin, what's going on in the network? Are you doing anything special? No one's streaming stuff downstairs? Sorry, everybody. We're going to have this figured out momentarily. All right, let's see if that brings back up the bit rate at all. Not related to this, but the best meat to make beef stew that's on the lean side I've found, a good store that has good beef with good marbling. Not related to this, but the best meat to make beef stew that's on the lean side. I haven't found a good store that's good beef with good marbling. We have a butcher shop out here in Denver called Tony's, and I go to Tony's for my special cuts of meat. Snake Eye, could you give me the go ahead? I'm looking better on bit rate over here. I'm gonna reload, restream. Think it's good? Are we good, everybody? Give me a thumbs up in chat if you're feeling good, if you're hearing me okay, it's not choppy. I just want to make sure we're good before we continue and start missing things, all right? My apologies here. Think it's good? Toes up, thank you, toes up. All right, going back over to our stove, we've got our butter. That's nice and melted over here, to which we're gonna add in directly all of our flour. That's 2 tablespoons of flour. And you just wanna mix this together. This is gonna have, any roux is gonna have the consistency of wet sand. Now, when you're measuring out a roux, you don't need a special recipe. All you need to know is that it is a 1-to-1 ratio of butter to flour by weight. Okay? Now, I gave you volume measurements for this, but if you're gonna weigh it, that's gonna be the most accurate way to do it. But 1.5 tablespoons of butter, being much more dense than flour, 2 tablespoons of flour. It's coming out to the right consistency, so it must be good. Now we're just gonna cook this out for about 30 seconds before adding it back into our sauce. All good? Okay, good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Teresa. Whew. Sorry about that. Every now and then you get, something pops up. I was told by a chef early on in my career that every shift, something's gonna go wrong. Expect it. Don't be mad when something gets out of whack. The dishwasher calls off, you don't get an order delivered, you have a party of 50 walk in the door. Things are gonna happen. It's about how you deal with it, right? So we're back, we're good. All right. Don't be mad, get glad. God, say God. Why are you so lame? God. Alrighty, everybody. Our roux has cooked out nicely. We're just making a very simple white roux right here. Again, we're not cooking this out until it's all brown and stuff. Now I'm gonna take this over to our sauce we've got here on the stove. We're gonna maintain our sauce on like a simmer. We want this to have little bubbles going on when we add in our roux. I pulled it off the heat because I didn't want moisture to evaporate while I was waiting to cook out our roux and also troubleshoot our technical problems. So just bringing it back up to a simmer. We're already starting to get some little bubbles over here. That's beautiful. Buenísima. Just add in that roux. Just gonna mix this thoroughly. Make sure you don't have any lumps remaining. Hey, Blob! Blob, happy Wednesday to you. How are you doing, my friend? You miscreant. You can see how our roux is already taking effect and increasing the viscosity of our sauce here. See how much thickened it's already become. So what's gonna happen? Well, at this point, we're gonna return our short ribs to the pan. What other colors of roux are there? So, Tata, that's a great question. Happy Wednesday to you. So there is white roux, blonde roux, and brown roux. Or blanc, blonde, and brun in French. There's a French style technique. We've already seared off our short ribs. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us here on stream like Blob and Tata are, we are making red wine braised beef short ribs here today. So we're returning our seared short ribs to the pan after sauteing off our mirepoix. That's that mixture of onion, celery, and carrots. We sauteed our garlic, added our tomato sauce, added our tomato paste, and cooked that out, did a pinçage. Then we deglazed with 2 cups of red wine. We reduced that red wine from 2 cups down to 1 cup, added in 2 cups of beef stock, then our herbs like our bay leaf, rosemary, thyme, all in there. And then we just added our roux, which I think is where you guys walked in. Lost 10 minutes of feed. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chris. The only time I ever used a dark roux was for etouffee, and it was delicious. It also made a huge mess, but that was me. So etouffee, Sarah, means to smother in French. So there, you can use that at your next dinner party if you want. So down here in the pan with our short ribs returned, our roux mixed in, we're simmering. We now need to cover this with some aluminum foil and get it going in the oven. Our oven has already been preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I've actually already cooked a batch of short ribs here today. So look at me, look how fancy I am. Ooh. Oh yes, I'm quite happy with this. Quite happy with this already. So again, for those of you just joining us, we are we're braising these short ribs. Now braising is a specific technique. It's where you first sear the meat and then cook it in a small amount of liquid over a long period of time, low and slow. That's what a braise is, if you see that on a menu. Okay, nice big thing of aluminum foil, which I'm going to tightly fit all around the edges of our pan so as little moisture as possible escapes from our short ribs as they braise. And then this is an oven-safe pan, everybody. If you're using a pan that has like a plastic handle or something like that on it, you're gonna want to switch over to a roasting pan or something that's going to hold up well in the oven, okay? That handle is not too hot. Into the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 2.5 hours. Oh no, I just knocked down the thing. No, the thing. All right, let's move the camera away from the stove so it doesn't overheat again. Then I'm just gonna set the timer. Bake 350 degrees. That timer. Sorry everybody, bear with me while I work the stove timer. I use the stove timer as opposed to my phone because I won't miss it. It'll just keep beeping and beeping, whereas sometimes, you know, you accidentally turn off the timer on your phone without thinking about it. Okay, cool. We're good to go. How y'all doing? Where'd you come from? Blob? Tata? What's up? How you been lately? We're at a bit of a resting point here right now before we move on to our polenta, but I want to talk to you a little bit. Is there a chance that if you add too much roux that there's not enough liquid to evaporate? So, Tata, that is a good question. So if you add too much roux, your sauce will be too tight, and then it has a propensity to burn to the bottom of the pan. So you want to make sure you definitely got enough liquid and sauce in there and you haven't used too much roux. This ratio works fairly well for me. Now, why don't I give you a little sneak peek at our first batch of short ribs that we got going on. Through the magic of television, I've already prepared for you a batch of braised short ribs. Oh yes, indeed. What the hell is this? Is there like pieces of aluminum foil stuck to it? What the Yeah, we'll replace whatever comes up. Oh my gosh, this one just slid right off the bone just from me touching it. Yes. How tender are they? Very tender. Yes. These look so good. Look at that. Just shredding it up. All right, I gotta make sure 2 of these look really good for our final plating shots. Oh. So is this technically confit because of the beef stock? No, Sarai, this is not confit. Confit is where you cook and you take and cook something for a long, slow period of time in fat. Doesn't have to be duck fat. Traditionally, it's done in duck fat. But no, this would not be a confit. Good question, though. Magic. I have my first final exam tomorrow. Tata, good luck on your exams. You guys send Tata good vibes on their exams. You got this. Don't worry about it. You got this. You know your stuff. Good. I am massaging my tomato paste. Pinsaging your tomato paste. Hold out here for a bit. Nothing to see. Okay. All right. Cool. Sending all the goodest vibes. There you go. Ah, Teresa, I'm so sorry. I've not seen your question hanging out here. I really apologize. Can you use a cast iron pan? 100% you can use a cast iron pan for this. I didn't use my cast iron pan because I was afraid it might not be big enough for the short ribs, but after having just done it, it's more than large enough for the 4 pounds of short ribs that we're using in this recipe. Oh, good, good, good. All right, everybody. So we need to start on our polenta. I'm gonna get these covered. Where's my foil? I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached to my shoulders. For real. Bro. Like, where did it go? For realsies. What? I gotta pop that drink, Chris, that we were talking about earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be beginning on the polenta. I know I sent you guys this in, well, not the 11th hour, maybe the 10th hour. Let's say 9:30. I sent you guys an update to our menu that we're gonna be making today over on Tastemade. I included the polenta recipe on our website, so that's there and ready to go for you. Make sure you have a large, well, medium sauce pot out on your stove. This is what I'm gonna be using. Something this size. We're gonna go over all the ingredients for our polenta here shortly. Hopefully you're at the point where you're getting your short ribs into the oven right now, or into your Instant Pot or slow cooker. Chris is using a crock pot because apparently this is 1977 again. It's a good year. Bam, 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 bam. All right, so our short ribs are just gonna rest off to the side. That's still too hot for me to carry. Ooh. I'm slowly building El Montaña de dishes over here in the sink. Trying to stay as organized as possible for my in-house dishwashers. Shout out to K-Money and Megiology. Okay. How am I doing? Let's get this set up. Tomatoes. Yes. Garlic. Spinaca. Leche. Elote y queso. Oh, baby. Taking you through some of the ingredients we're going to be using, all of the ingredients that we're going to be using this afternoon in our polenta. Start back here at the beginning. We've got 3 cups of cherry tomatoes over here, as well as 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 garlic cloves, 3 cups of spinach. We also have another 3 cups of whole milk that I'm going to be using. There is our goat cheese. Oh no! Fucking stop. It caught the edge of the board. We've got our 4 ounces of goat cheese and then 1 cup of yellow corn grits, aka polenta. All right? Ain't that fancy. You don't have to buy exactly polenta, you can buy yellow corn grits. People ask me, why you use yellow corn meal? I like yellow corn meal. Over here on the stove, we got our medium sauce pot, a whisk. But first, we gotta get our tomatoes in the oven, all right? So let's take, and I'm not even gonna turn that anymore. We're gonna set these ingredients off to the side. We're gonna mince up our garlic because we're gonna be wilting our spinach. We're gonna toss our tomatoes in our olive oil and get these laid on a sheet tray that has been lined with parchment paper. So here's a sheet tray. We've got our parchment paper. Now we're just gonna take and drizzle our olive oil over the top here. Just give them a toss, just a toss to coat. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The tiniest bowl to make wings in. Will he spill a tomato? He might. No spilled tomatoes. Onto our sheet tray they go. And then we're gonna hit that with some salt and pepper. Now we're gonna roast these tomatoes in the oven until the skins begin to split. In your recipe packet, it says 425 degrees, I believe, for your oven temperature when roasting your tomatoes. We have our beef short ribs going at the same time, and I'm not gonna be pumping this up to 425 degrees. We need to remain at 350 degrees, which means we're just gonna extend the cooking time on our tomatoes a little bit. So instead of taking like 5 or 7 minutes, it might take 10 or 12 minutes, okay? So into the oven, they're gonna go at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes. Yes, more garlic. AI has a mind of its own. Hey, Connor! Connor, welcome to the stream. It's great to see you, my friend. Guys, can we get a shout out for the only deaf guy? Connor is a line cook over in the UK. So he's usually streaming in the mornings while all of us are just getting our day started. He's ahead of the curve, right? Connor, how you doing? How'd your driving test go, my friend? Did you ace it? We were sending good vibes your way. And Blaze, you don't like grits? No self-respect and son of the uses instant grits. No, no. You gotta wait, all right? Takes time. Heading to sleep, but wanted to drop a lurk. Thank you, Connor, I appreciate you. Shout out, Connor. Show toes, bro. There we go. Things seem to be a little bit more stable now that I'm not going out at 5,000 kbps, or not going out at 6. It was something Restream was warning me about, but I was like, it's fine. It seems to work fine. Didn't have an issue till today. These can go off to the side. We've got our garlic here. Ready to mince that up. I've already taken off the root ends and peeled it. So we're gonna give this just a little pop. And then we're gonna move our knife through it, all right? No, I blame the military for my dislike of grits. Orca Paca. Happy Wednesday, Orca. How's it hanging? Is there such a thing as too much pizza? Orca, I don't think there is such a thing as too much pizza. I mean, there's a point at which I am full from pizza, but there will never come a point where I'm like, I don't think I can eat pizza again. Does that make sense? Guys, what's your favorite style of pizza? You know, I used to always say Chicago-style pizza was my favorite kind of pizza, and then I made my own Detroit-style pizza at home, and I was like, oh my God, this actually might be better than Chicago-style pizza. Detroit-style pizza, for the uninitiated, is like focaccia, if you've ever had focaccia, but it's focaccia with pizza on top of it. It's incredible. The one we make where I work. I don't understand style. Well, it has a lot to do with crust and layering of ingredients, ingredient order, I should say. Because in a Chicago-style pizza, the sauce is on top and the cheese is underneath with the rest of the ingredients. And most pizzas, I would say, cheese is on top, right? So that's the difference between Detroit and some other styles. Although it's not exclusively Detroit pizza that they put the sauce on top. But it's really a lot about the dough. The ratios of the dough, the amount of time that you allow your dough to rise, if it's risen at all, because with Chicago-style pizza, it's a cornbread crust. And there's a bunch of other types that I'm not familiar with. Oh my God, focaccia, I haven't had that in a while. Shut your dirty Detroit pie hole. Why? What's your favorite, Captain? Top of the morning, Governor. Oh, Connor. With our garlic mince, we're gonna get this back into the ramekin from whence it came. Digging the jazz flute going on right now. Ooh, what is this, a Lizzo concert? I wish. Lizzo would not be doing as well as she is if her concerts were like this. I mean, we're good for a cooking stream. Okay. Tomatoes. Our tomatoes are in the oven. Our garlic is minced. All we gotta do is add our milk to our pot and then get another pan out to wilt our spinach in, okay? We're now on to the polenta portion of the class. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us here for our Wednesday weeknight dinner on Ingrediology, we are making a red wine braised short rib here today. We're accompanying it with the polenta that we're just beginning on right now. We've already got our short ribs in the oven, hanging out. They got to go for like 2.5 hours. Don't worry, we've got a backup set. I've already got them done through the magic of television. So we'll be plating here in about 20 minutes, all right? Back over to the stove we go. We've got our medium saucepan right here. I'm gonna turn the heat on medium, maybe a little medium high. In go our 3 cups, 24 ounces of whole milk. And then my timer for the tomatoes is going off. So how are we looking over there? They are nowhere close to splitting. So we're gonna put them back in there for another like 10 minutes on the tomatoes. Our tomatoes that we've just doused in olive oil, added some salt and pepper, and we're roasting them in the oven until those sides split. They're gonna be topping our polenta along with the wilted spinach here at the end. Now we're also incorporating into our polenta some goat cheese. So I've got 4 ounces of chèvre over here in a bowl. This is just a goat cheese, soft goat cheese. We're gonna stir that in here at the end. What we're waiting on though is for our milk to come to a simmer here on the stove. Once we're at a simmer, we're gonna throw in our corn grits. We've got our yellow, well, I keep calling them corn grits, but yellow corn grits and polenta are the same thing. All right, so we've got our polenta, 1 cup's worth over in the bowl. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio of liquid to the polenta. You don't have to use milk in this. I just find it provides a creamier texture, but you can use chicken stock or even water if you feel so inclined to. But either way, you want to wait for those liquids to simmer before then adding in your polenta. What are y'all up to? Chi-Town, Illuminati's, oh my God, I know. Illuminati's is king, okay? I will retract my previous statement, Chris. Illuminati's is incredible. I love Illuminati's. But I mean, Detroit style pizza is, because here's the thing that separates Detroit style pizza. They take and they cook it in a steel pan. This is actually a holdover. There's an interesting history behind this. There's a holdover from the car industry. And so the first person to start making these kind of pies were using old car parts that were made out of steel to make the pizzas in. So they developed this steel pizza pan. And so it's a little thicker than, say, an aluminum pan. It holds onto heat a little bit better. And so it's going to transfer that heat and energy better into your crust, but most importantly, your cheese. Because with the Detroit style pizza, you end up with this just perfectly crispy and browned off, lacy edge of mozzarella along the outside of your pizza. And it's to die for. It's amazing. They have the 8-corner pizza at Jets, which is a Detroit style pizza. Oh, it's one of my favorite things to order. Using it as my sandwich bread. Ooh, I literally made focaccia a few days ago. Orca, I love focaccia. If you tried out Bon Appetit's recipe for focaccia, it's like a no-knead focaccia recipe. It's really good. That's my go-to recipe. I think the best pizza is a crunch base, unless we're talking deep dish pizza. So the deep dish would have that cornbread crust. We have a polenta pizza where I work it as mozzarella, grated and fresh, green onions, chili, and porcini mushrooms. Polenta pizza is intriguing. Blaze and I are both intrigued by that polenta pizza. What? That sounds amazing. You got the recipe for it? Oh, the polenta is the sauce, no tomato sauce. That changed my view on it. I thought it was like you do your polenta on, or you do your pizza on like a polenta cake. Maybe it's only like a 1/4 of an inch thick, something like that. 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch thick piece of polenta that you've taken, you fried up or cooked in the pan beforehand, then you top with pizza ingredients. That sounds good. Polenta inside of a pizza, I question that. I'd have to taste it myself. Listen, I'm not trying to yuck your yum. That's the last thing we try and do here on Ingrediology, but I'm not sold. People are loving it. I think it's just fine. We have way better pizzas. Way better pizzas than that one, or just your pizza's better in general? Love me some Jets. Just saying, if I were given one pizza to eat ever, Lewis Tops. You're right. If I had to pick any pizza, like I used to order those pizzas frozen and delivered to me out here in Denver. We should do that again. It's not cheap, but we should do that again. They're really good. Yeah, I would have Death Row Pizza. I'm going Illuminati's. My favorite style to order that you can find would be Jets, would be Detroit style pizza. My motto is to try everything once. Exactly, Blaze. I like your motto. Mine is the same way. I'll try anything once. Oh, that's something to look at. Ooh. We have a bunch of pre-built pizzas, but we also have a margarita that you can add toppings to. Okay, all right. Name for Queen Marguerite? Queen or princess? Just a pie. All right, where's my Truly? My Truly strawberry lemonade. You guys doing okay at home? Censored. I am trisexual. There's a tag. You can put a tag on Twitch that is demisexual. I almost did it. I was towing the line. I was like, we should put the demisexual tag here on Twitch today. Snake Eye, if you can still do that, you have my permission. Truly no laws. Raspberry lemonade Truly. Man, watch pot never simmers, huh? If you're just joining us here on stream, everybody, we are making our polenta at this point. Our braised beef short ribs are already in the oven with their red wine sauce. Looking sexy. And so while we're waiting on that, we got our tomatoes roasting, and I'm just here talking to you. Guys, next class is gonna be carrot cake. All right. I'm sorry I've fallen behind. It's been a crazy couple of weeks out here at the house. Not just busy. Just people coming in, coming out, differences in Remy's schedule, not being able to work on the website and update things. I've been really focusing in on the editing and trying to improve there, which means that things have fallen by the wayside. So I don't have the carrot cake recipe or class posted on Tastemade yet. We're gonna be making that next week here on stream. Is gonna be carrot cake. The week after that, though, I'm gonna be making nothing, because we're out of town. We're back in Indianapolis. I might be airing a recording of the chicken tinga class for you guys on that week, but we'll see. And then the week after that, I'm planning ribs. So we're gonna do baby back ribs on the smoker, collard greens, and cornbread. All right, so it's a nice rib extravaganza. I think that'll perform really well on YouTube when I edit that down, get it up, because everyone's searching how to barbecue ribs. I've got mine down pretty well. I've gotten the whole formula figured out. I was reticent to do a ribs class. Number one, because of time, which held me back for a long time for the short ribs class, because it's so involved time-wise. But also, number two, I've gotten much more proficient at smoking on my pellet grill smoker. So I feel much more comfortable about the process and being able to teach you guys. I don't want to go into a class where it's like, I kind of know what's going on, but not really. I mean, I've done it before. I'm not going to tell you guys which classes, because hopefully you couldn't tell, but. All right, gotta head to bed. It's been lovely talking to y'all. Have a wonderful stream. Orkapaka, you have a wonderful night. Get some sleep. Thanks for being here, popping in, saying hi. We'll see you here next week, my friend. Peace. Can we forego the nuts in the carrot cake? I'm allergic. So you can forego the nuts in the carrot cake, Blaze. The nuts don't add anything. It doesn't make it bake any differently. But we'll probably be doing walnuts in ours. Yeah. Even though I also am allergic, I guess it's an allergy. I'm allergic to walnuts. I have this thing called geographic tongue. And if I eat really acidic foods like oranges or limes or tomatoes, my tongue will break out in like little bumps and it's painful. It's just really heavily acidic foods will do that to me. But also walnuts, raw nuts will do that to me as well. Not all nuts, just walnuts. I can eat almonds just fine. Peanuts are just fine. Cashews are fine. But pecans and walnuts make me have the geographic tongue, make my tongue like swell up again. I still eat them because I'm like, I'll be damned if I'm not going to be enjoying my food to the fullest. If it has walnuts, it has walnuts in it. I'm just going to have to deal with it. What if you're allergic to carrots? Serious question. Well, then you ain't going to be eating this cake. I mean, the hell? Parsnips says Culinary Rewind. Cerise, how are you, my dear? Can we get a shout out for Culinary Rewind? We're gonna add in our polenta to our 3 cups of milk. That's 1 cup of polenta to 3 cups of simmering milk here in our pot. Now we don't want this to boil because our milk will boil over. So I'm just gonna maintain this on a medium heat, just in a simmer right now, just little bubbles around the outside edges. We wanna be stirring this frequently as we're cooking this out, because if you just leave it be, then it'll stick to the bottom right there. Cerise, what's new with you? Everybody, if you want some amazing aprons, Culinary Rewind, Cerise makes them herself and will ship them to you. So go check out Cerise's Pieces. I think you can type Cerise's Pieces down in chat and that'll take you over to her website. What have you been cooking, my dear? I get told off. I love nuts in general. It's a late allergy. Oh, that sucks, Blaze, when something pops up late in life that you weren't allergic to, but you're now allergic to. I mean, I've heard of allergies, like my little sister was allergic to strawberries when she was a little kid, but she grew out of it. I've heard it going that way, which is great, but it stinks when you develop an allergy later in life. I'm doing well, coming back to Indy. Coming back to Indy, question mark? Safe travels, yeah. How'd you know that? I am coming back to Indianapolis. Oh, wait, I just talked about it at May 29th. We're going to be back for the Indianapolis 500. Yeah, we're going to be going to the race. We're going to be spending the weekend with my family and Megan's family out there, getting the cousins together. So little Remy with Brandon, who's Megan's brother, his son Morris, who's 2.5, 3. Kathy? How old's 3? Morris is 3. Been cooking simple comfort food. We all need a little comfort nowadays. But yeah, going to spend some time back in Indy. Goldfish brain. I'm constantly goldfish brain. You guys don't understand. It's very difficult for me in chat and whatnot, but like I have very little RAM in my brain. Okay, it resets very quickly. So I'll like read a comment, and if it was something a minute ago that I read and was talking with you about in chat, I'm already thinking about like the 4 other things I got going on in the kitchen right now. So it usually just boop, like Ted Lasso. You guys watch Ted Lasso? Be a goldfish, okay? Just install more RAM. Obviously, man, speaking of like upgrading computers and whatnot, I'm very excited for the GPU. price drops that are coming up, and maybe the 4090 that's coming out. I mean, the 4090 is still gonna be like 1,800 bucks, 2,000 bucks, something like that. But that means you can get a 3090 for probably half that, hopefully. I'm just hungry for goldfish. So Snake Eye, are you gonna be, Snake Eye did the experiment of treating goldfish like a cereal. And I never tried it, but he said it was good. Now this is only gonna take about 15 minutes here to cook out on the stove. I'm gonna turn my heat down again. We're gonna put a lid on this bad boy, because God help you if you get one of those little molten lava chunks of polenta come out of the pan and land on your finger or your hand or your arm. Oh my God, it's the worst. Oh, we need to get a saute pan out because we need to wilt our spinach. Ooh. Do I have a timer going on? Probably put a timer back on. Put another 5 minutes on those tomatoes. So earlier, everybody, we took and we minced up our garlic. We've got 3 cloves of minced garlic right here, and then we have 3 cups of spinach. We're gonna be coming over to the stove and putting that into our saute pan. I've got a non-stick large saute pan hanging out right here. I'm gonna put that on like a medium-high heat, bring it up to temperature, add in some olive oil. We're gonna saute off our garlic, and when our garlic's nice and fragrant, we throw in our spinach. It does a quick 1-2, 1-2. I mean, literally like 30 to 40 seconds in the pan. Quick 1-2, 1-2, then we bring it out, and then that will be served on top of our polenta along with our short ribs. We're getting close. We're getting close, everybody. Goldfish cereal is not bad. You're disgusting. You disgust me, Snake Eye. Wait, did you just mention computer parts? Yes, I did, Blaze. Yes, I did. Hey, boy. Come here. Polenta burns are death. I know. Guys, boys up. Hi, sweet boy. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You watching Dada? You watching Dada on the TV? Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You about to take another nap? You go down. We got screens in the chat over here. Don't talk to them, all right? Then we got Taste Made right over there. That's not the cutest little boy you've ever seen. He's got his backyard expedition. Ladybug, turtle, grasshoppers, frogs on his shirt. What's up, Bubba? That's us. That's us. It's right there. I know you don't. You really don't know what's going on. What are you doing? You sweet boy. Megan's been going into work here yesterday she went into work today, and she'll go into work tomorrow. So it's just me and Grammy on duty right now. Things are going good. You want to see some polenta? You ever had spinach before? Want to try some spinach? Pretty good. No? No spinach? Pretty good. Not bad. Spinach is good for you, man. Like Popeye. Not really your thing? That's cool. It's not a lot of people's thing. We'll get you. You know what I got? I got some spinach. I got some peas. I got some carrots in a little pouch for you. Okay? We'll get that in with your oatmeal. All right. I'm done. Thank you, Remy. Thank you. Where are we going? What are we doing? Poop, Remy, poop, says Snake Eye. Oh, a wholesome dad moment. Not enough spinach. Okay. How do you say spinach in Spanish? Spinaca. Nom nom nom. I signed a contract which states that I can't work on anything competing. In this case, anything keyboard related. But I'm only going to see money from that contract in like November. And this all came into my head when you said RTX 4090. That has something to do with the keyboards. Let's go over here to the stove, everybody. We've got our olive oil here in the pan. Should be up to temperature. We're on like a medium-high heat. We're gonna add in our 3 cloves of minced garlic. We're also gonna give our polenta a nice little stir over here. You know what, this is already looking a little tight to me. It's looking a little tight. For 15 minutes of cookout time, I think I need something. It needs to be a little looser. I'm gonna add in like another 2 ounces of beef stock into this thing just to loosen it up. I only had 2 ounces hanging out anyways. Oh, so good. Getting distracted, everybody. I'm sorry. So our timer's going off for our tomatoes. So we're gonna give the tomatoes just a little check. They're looking pretty good. I want a little bit of color on them, so I'm gonna give them another like 2 minutes. One more minute. That's what we're gonna do. 1 more minute on the tomatoes before we pull them out. If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are making a red wine braised beef short rib here on the channel today. I hope you're having a great Wednesday, and thanks for being here live with us on our cooking streams. I'm sauteing our garlic for the polenta, and then we're just gonna add in our spinach, which Remy did not seem to enjoy too much just a second ago. You know, a chef is at work when they have multiple things going at once. Amen. My whole life is multiple things going at once. So we're just wilting our spinach quickly here in the pan, everybody. Trying to make sure not to burn our garlic. It's looking golden brown. It's quite fragrant right now. I'm glad we added in the spinach to cool this down to skosh. That's our timer on the tomatoes. Out are going to come the tomatoes. Oh yeah, our skins have begun to split here. They're nicely roasted. I'm quite happy with that. That's gonna be the garnish that goes on top of our polenta, along with our wilted spinach, which we're still wilting down here in the pan. These are rather large spinach leaves, and they're not coming in contact with the pan very well, so it's taking longer than that 30 seconds, 45 seconds that I projected earlier. We might have to be in here for a minute, minute and a half. Just make sure you're not burning the garlic as you're cooking. You can ensure this by moving it around regularly. Isn't it amazing how 3 cups of garlic turn into like nothing? Shameless plug, I could survive on just those tomatoes. Tomato sorbet is pretty awesome. I've never had tomato sorbet. And guys, if anyone needs designs, I do anything from clothing to tech, logos, or renders. Completely forgot to do your job today. So check out Tata, if they remember to do their job. Okay guys, the spinach is looking well wilted. You don't want to overdo this. You don't want to just keep cooking it until it's basically the consistency of canned spinach. All right, just give it a nice little saute. We're gonna pull this out into a bowl or onto a plate. That can go over here. And then back down here on the board, we've got our tomatoes, which are still rather hot. We're gonna put those off to the side. What is your opinion on aspic, like tomato aspic, for example? The last time I made anything with aspic, Saram, was culinary school, and I didn't enjoy it. There's a reason they don't serve things in aspic anymore. Like it's like a, hey, look at how technical I can be kind of thing amongst chefs. Like, oh, they did an aspic, but God, nobody wants to eat any kind of gelée or aspic, or you want my asparagus aspic, and it's like encased in like a clear gel. No, I don't enjoy them. I don't make them. I've not made it in over a decade. But to each their own. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. Now, back on the stovetop, we've got our polenta, which has been going. It's nicely thickened here. So we're gonna increase the creaminess by just adding in our goat cheese, stirring this all together. We're gonna hit this with a little bit of salt. And then everybody, we are ready to plate up our first round of short ribs. Right at 5 o'clock, how about that? That looks good. I'm quite happy with that. Let's clear the runway for our dolly. Oh, what am I doing? What am I talking about? We need to get the sauce drained. This is our final step, everybody, for the red wine sauce that we're gonna be serving over the top. Did you bump the camera? Have it. Good. All right, there we go. So we are gonna be straining out our red wine sauce here for the top of the short ribs. Make sure you have a a metal mesh strainer on hand and a bowl. We're gonna pull all of our short ribs out. So down here on the board, I've assembled my mesh strainer right here. And then we are gonna take and strain out our sauce. Let's pull the short ribs out first. So onto a small plate, we'll go our short ribs. Let's get a plate that we're gonna be plating the short ribs on. This looks good. Happy with that. And then we're gonna take our short ribs out of our sauce. Just as gently as you can. Some of these might fall apart. They are fall off the bone tender right now. Which is what you want. You gotta serve with the bone on. It's just such a great look. And it gains so much height on the plate. It's so impressive when it comes out. So these can go off to the side. And then into our bowl, we're gonna scrape all the insides. You guys doing okay over on Tastemade? How you feeling? Appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Bearing with us through our short rib recipes. I always like a good head cheese, just like aspic with more meat. God, snake eye. No, thank you. We're just gonna press this through. I've got quite a bit of fat sitting here on the top of my sauce. So what I'm gonna do is after we've pushed out all the solids, I'm gonna take another larger spoon and skim off this fat. So see this fat? I need a bowl to go into. Do this without thinking of where my LZ is gonna be. Just grab yourself a dirty bowl. You're gonna be throwing out the fat anyways. So go ahead and take your spoon and just sink it so the edges will pick up this fat. I mean, the reason why this is so fatty and separated is because we allowed so much time for it to cool while I was finishing my batch. When it comes hot out of the oven, this will be much easier to skim together and incorporate, and you have a nice smooth sauce. I just want to get rid of some of this because you don't want it to look like an oil slick sitting on top of your plate. Not going to be perfect, but it'll get a lot of it out. Look at all the fat we were able to get out of there. Bunch of fat. Okay. What's up, Blob? What are you saying? Logan, the Wellington. We're not doing Wellington. And then just by whisking this and incorporating it back in, we're gonna have a nice sauce. This looks beautiful. I'm really in love with this thing right now. So what do we gotta do? We gotta plate up. What is going on? Okay, I don't know what happened right there. But it is what it is, man. So let's take our creamy polenta. Ah, shit. Now there's oil in the wheels. God help me. Panic! Don't panic. Nobody panic yet. We're good. Okay, everybody. I think we are well set up. So I'm gonna grab a serving spoon. Yay! There we go. Now, on top of our polenta, we're gonna put just a little bit of our wilted spinach. Nice pop of color here coming from our tomatoes. We got our yellow and red cherry tomatoes roasted to the point where the skins have blistered and popped open. Hell yeah. Then of course, you gotta do our short ribs next. So coming in extra thick. Don't slide off now, short rib. You're so tender and juicy. Hell yeah. Okay, this can't be happening. Go to 6. I apologize, everybody, for the technical difficulties we're having at this moment. Dolly appears to have gotten some oil on its wheels. It's just sliding around on the countertop, so give me a second just to clean this off. But please admire the short ribs. Oh, venison Wellington, that sounds amazing. You guys are still talking about beef Wellington in the chat? God, I don't know if I have the capacity to tolerate Jerk's chicken. I'm a spice weenie. I made a deer bourguignon once and it was super legit. Not gamey in a bad way, but different for sure. That sounds really interesting, Sarah. I made za'atar chicken the other night, so ooh, I do love za'atar. I used my za'atar spice because I made shakshuka last weekend for brunch. Why is it doing this? All right, guys, the dolly is just officially all oiled up. I apologize. We've got our braised beef short rib right here for you. Thank you for hanging out with me here today on stream. I hope you got a lot out of our show today. Ooh, hell yeah. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way.
I feel for Logan.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that if you want to follow along with this recipe, you can find it on our website at ingrediology.org. Just go to our class guides and search that. Teresa, oh my God, it looks so good. Thank you, Teresa. I'm sorry the cams are just shitting themselves right now. That's my bad, all right? Everybody, thanks for joining me here on this week's Wednesday weeknight dinner on Ingrediology. This afternoon, we made a red wine braised beef short rib. I hope that you choose to replicate this for yourself at home. Trust me, it is worth the time. We did this, we did all of this in about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. I mean, the entirety of it will take you about 4 hours at home. Are there any questions here in chat that we got going on? Are we doing well over here on Tastemade, everybody? I hope that you're following along with us well. Any questions over here in stream, like replace the beef with squash? Interesting, Case Raw. Thank you so much for the follow, Unicorn Fans Club. We hope you can make your life easier in the kitchen. Yes. Thank you, Unicorn, for being here. Appreciate the follow. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Would you say the sumac is required? I don't have that on hand. Sumac adds acidity without adding acid. Snake eye, that sounds perfect. Will do. I'll let you know how it goes. Polenta is 15 minutes. Polenta is about 15 minutes, Chris. Yep. Why do you hate on my brand so much? Aspic is fun, okay? Aspic is not fun, all right? And I don't hate on your brand. I love your brand, and I support your brand. Exclamation point, Cerese's Pieces in chat if you guys would like to have some lovely aprons. What do you need, Grammy? You need a baby spoon? Here you go. Okay. You're in the microwave, by the way. All right, everybody, we need to find somebody to raid. Snake Eye, you got any suggestions? That sounds like a good plan, Chris. I think if the beef ribs are coming out at 5:30, the polenta starting in at 5:10 will be just perfect. Get everything meased up in advance. I mean, even have your milk on low, simmering, hanging out, okay? All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here with me on Ingrediology. Be sure to follow me on all my socials. We're everywhere on every platform as Ingrediology. If you'd like to help us make the show possible, we put out these shows for free, everybody. So I want to get as many people as we can into our live streams and whatnot and increase our reach. And that way I open up all the resources to the public. But it's not free to run these classes. So if you'd like to help us buy groceries or software or help keep the website up and running, you can do so at ko-fi.com/Ingrediology. Thank you to our supporters here on stream who already help us out each month by making the stream possible for all the rest of you. So we'll see you again here next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to be making carrot cake here on stream. This is going to be our one sweet treat for the month. I do 3 savory dishes and I do 1 sweet treat. Next week is going to be our sweet treat. Carrot cake's coming at you. So be sure to keep your eyes peeled for the Tastemade posting on that, as well as the recipe packet coming soon. I'll hit you up on Discord, okay? Hungry Wolf. All right, heard that. Hungry Wolf has rated us so many times. We are definitely going to Hungry Wolf, okay? That's the first thing I looked down and saw. Nope. Wait, where's the... Is that his actual name? Is that how you spell Hungry Wolf? Because it was giving me an egg. Blob, it was good seeing you. Thank you, Captain Jack Daniels. I'll cancel my Ko-fi now. Please don't cancel your Ko-fi. All right, he doesn't have a profile picture. Like, is this really, how do you do this? Blob takes a random thing from Logan's kitchen. Give that back, Blob. All right, well, we're going to Hungry Wolf. All right, everybody. I'll see you here next Wednesday. Peace and love. You're the best. Enjoy your short ribs. Enjoy your polenta. And we'll see you next week on Ingrediology. Peace.